This is part 2, painting Bane. Link in the description for the first part and at the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Here's where I primed everything black. This is the only time I used airbrush, is right here. Everything is just Vallejo black primer. That's all it is. Here's the interesting part. Here's the part I was kind of worried about because I wasn't sure how this was going to go. I haven't had really success in the past with dry brushing, but the more tutorials I watched on YouTube and stuff like that and read up a little bit, not too much because I don't like to read, but here I am starting out with some gray instead of white primer I used in the past. Just standard grade apple barrel gray. Outside of that, man, just take your time and just go in circles and just hit the high parts. Obviously, I'm sure you guys know what dry brush means, but that's all you're doing is trying to hit the high parts. That's it. Okay, Vallejo olive green model air. That's my choice for this one. I wanted to make him a military looking base character. I just thought that the way he looked, it kind of went that way. I know Bane's not military. At least I don't know if he is or not, but I don't think so. But I was going through the military kind of look with this one. So to save some time, and I know this is a long video, I put like 4 coats of this green. You have to go really light, extremely light, at least for me. It's how I did it. Maybe, you know, it's not the best way, I guess, but like this is my first time doing a complete dry brush project or figure, whatever you want to call it. But it was like 4 applications of this green, but very extremely light coats, meaning there's hardly any paint on the actual brush. I kind of snipped away and speed things up and added things, you know, in between this because this was a lengthy process. Just take your time and go real thin layers. It just seemed, and tell you the truth, after this figure was done, it was one of the smoothest looking figures when it comes to a paint application that I did so far. It's just smooth, as smooth as I personally ever did. Same thing. I'm letting it gonna dry. Here's same thing on the torso. I think there was only 3 coats, 2 or 3 coats on this one, because I wanted to keep it kind of dark, because it would be like inside under where his belly is, where the jacket would cover it up, and the top part of the armor of the torso would cover it up. So I kind of went a little more. I didn't put it on so heavy on this one. But outside of that, I did, if you can see the sides there on that lower torso behind the tubes, I did go in there with some midnight dark black, or midnight with black, I mean, not dark black, midnight and black together. But right here, I'm just not hitting a lot of spots, just on the top of the shoulders and the sides to try to make it an even flow. But at the same time, you can't see it because of the jacket, but you know it's there, so you might as well just go all the way with it. I'm going Createch straight opaque black on this one. That's only for the inside of the thighs, and there's 2 stripes going down the leg, on the outside of the leg and on the inside of the leg. That's the only place I went with opaque black, straight black. Still doing down the stripes on the side of the legs and inside the legs, because this is kind of a time-consuming type thing. I never did anything where it actually took this long to do, because usually it was an airbrush thing and solid colors, didn't really go too much in detail. But this one here, I tried to go a little bit further inside doing the detail, just to see what it would look like in the end, if actually the extra time I took to do it paid off. But I think it did, but it's just time consuming. Just take your time, and just however long it takes, just let it take it. Like here, you can see me going up the side there of that little stripe. You'll probably never see it with the jacket there, but it just all comes together at the end, I think. Okay, the next step, licorice color, matte licorice. It's not so much a bright black or a deep black. I know you really can't tell on camera, but it is a somewhat difference. Is it a huge difference? No. Uniform blue. Okay, so I'm going to mix these two together. The uniform blue was a little bit too blue for me, so I added some black licorice to tone it down even some more. And it came out with a crazy looking midnight dark, crazy looking blue. The camera doesn't do it just, even at the end of the final project. It doesn't do it justice of the color, because now it just looks like black. See, as I'm mixing it, I did add a tad bit of black because I needed to be somewhere else where I needed to be, and it got me there because the licorice had a little bit of blue in it already. But I tell you, It is an awesome blue. Now onto the hands, the same exact on the hands that we did in the legs. Kind of same paint scheme so far. Actually, what I didn't mention yet in the video is that maybe add a little water to this when you're doing it. And don't go in heavy. Go real thin, real thin. The thinner you go with your coats, the much better I found will come out as a smooth look or end application. Here's a real quick before and after airbrush in the base coat that we came up with, that dark blue. Same thing. We're basically a rinse repeat type of applications here. That's about where we're at right now. Okay, same thing here again. I know I keep saying the same thing, but we're still at that dark midnight blue that we came up with. And here's where I'm kind of disappointed with my final result. I love the base color. I know the jacket's going to be on there, but at the end of this video you'll see it's kind of premature right now to say it or talk about it, but I wish I would have did some kind of other color with it. I'm not sure. I could not really feel what I wanted to do with it, so I just left it a plain midnight blue chest plate, so to speak. But I did want him to look kind of like a newer version of Bane in a clean new kind of outfit Bane. So we're going to move now to the real brown. It's sort of, I went with the brown because I know brown goes well with green and then blue or dark blue or black. I mean, I just didn't want all the straps on him to be black or his belt to be black. So I went with the real brown. Went in there. It took like maybe 2 coats on this one. I left it and left some a lot of them shading in dark between those his belt there. Obviously I left it black as much as I could to see some shadows and so it just didn't look like a solid brown color. And also I went with the actual straps. I went with a brown too as well. All of it took, like I said, the straps for some reason, I guess because they're more green where I dry brushed, that took 3 coats. But I only left 2 coats for his belt up here with all the pockets and stuff in it, or whatever you want to call it. His utility belt. said in the beginning of the video, I just took my time. I just took the time. I kind of sometimes want to rush through things. I have the urge to rush through them because I just not want to just get them done. I just want to see the final project or the outcome of what I'm doing. So I made myself take my time. Maybe looked at this piece here or this figure or what I'm painting here more or less like a miniature, like some people do with those minis, meaning the Warhammer, Dungeons and Dragons. I watch a lot of those tutorials. If you guys are going to do any kind of brush work or any kind of painting like that, or any kind of painting at all, go to YouTube or anywhere you go and just look at some people that do some of those miniatures. You can learn a lot from even on a bigger scale piece that you do, even from that kind of stuff, is just the overlapping, overlaying, the transparent stuff, the shading, the quick tutorials on washes or anything. But anyway, we're here just going to crank this one out. I'm hitting all the browns right now. Now jump right back to the actual midnight blue that we came up with. Going to hit all the plates, the bulletproof or piercing armor plates, whatever you want to call them, that are actually on his military-like pants. I went with the same color as that midnight blue that we came up with. All along still, adding some water, not a whole lot, just maybe 25% to whatever you're using, and just take your time. Smooth it around, push it around. Real thin coats is the key, in my opinion. Here's where it's starting to come together. That midnight blue, that dark midnight blue, looks really good when it dried, really smooth. Got the black in there inside the end of the thighs to make it, kind of separate all the colors. And then now we're going to go to, I think, the silver from Model Air. Yep, right here. Vallejo Model Air. This is my favorite silver ever. And we got some opaque, just straight red opaque. I'm using this silver on the, I guess these would be, well, what I'm thinking they're going to be now are smoke grenades. I'm thinking with the Batman hazmat, I don't know what they were, but now I'm thinking smoke grenades. And I got a wonderful view right there on top of the screen. You can see most of my hand and not what I'm painting. I still have struggle with getting the perfect angle on these tutorials. I'm still working on it, believe it or not, but I am. Sometimes I have some really bad angles. Anyway, here's what I'm going with, like I said, with the straight silver. And then up here on top, I'm putting some red. I just went with the colors. That's the colors I wanted. No rhyme or reason. Just went with it just to make something pop. So you can actually, all these colors separate. That was my objective. Some more of the silver here, Model Air Vallejo. I love, like I said, I love that this color. You can, this silver in particular, I have a couple other silvers, doesn't match this one at all because it's really thick. If you're doing a big spot, like a big spot on the piece that you're doing, you can actually manipulate the paint and push it around in the corners where you need it to be, and it just covers crazy. Great covering. I'm almost done the boots here. I'm kind of glad I went down the boot. I knew I was going to hit the knee pads, but I wasn't sure about the boot. Then after I went down the boot, I was happy I went down the boot. I know that doesn't really make any sense, but I just didn't want the boot just being a one solid color. So I was just hitting subtle parts all over the place in different spots. Here's where I thought I was done with the hands. Not a big deal by changing them around, not like I'm pointing it out for some kind of crazy reason, but I decided to add more brown, more of the real brown to the actual arm piece down here, the lower part of the arm, and just let the trim around the wrist and the trim around the glove, just to make it look a little more uniform, if that's the right word, or just, it just felt right, put it that way. Okay, here we go. Here's the whole time. This is what I was waiting for at this part of the build. Got me some glow-in-the-dark yellow, glow-in-the-dark green, and some neon green. I put the neon green in first. This took several coats, even though I still put white primer over top of the tubes. It just did not want to take. For sake of how long this video would be, this is rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. It just would not stop. Finally got it to where I needed to be, of course, but it took several applications later. But that's where you walk the fine line when it comes to painting something that's this detailed like the tubes are here, because you don't want to glob it on there and just your layers get too thick. My battery died as well when I did when I was painting the actual tank, of course. And what I did with the tank was, maybe I'll describe that later here at the end of the video. I will, but you know, instead of trying to show you here. But the green worked out well. It's glow-in-the-dark mixture of yellow and green and then neon green, but it took several coats. I know I keep saying that, but I guess that's just, that paint isn't, to get it opaque or solid looking without it looking clumpy, it took some time. That part right there that I'm brushing, that was a pain. I'll fill you in that here in a minute, but that was a pain. Like I said, that green took several coats, and you're on a borderline there for too many coats. Anyway, we're getting to the end here, but I just wanted to show this part real quick. That just added some black buttons to his utility belt, and that was all. That's all she wrote. And I did some cleanup. Had to do some cleanup. Alright, I appreciate you guys staying around if you did watch the video, and also all the support. I'm going to make this really quick, give you a really quick rundown of what we did on the final product with the BANE. I did take this from Fortnite, the actual cabinet, the arcade cabinet. I did some black, I just spray painted black, add some accents to the rivets here, and painted these black. I think they were turquoise. Came in. Chest, I probably wish I'd done something else too. Nice clean navy blue, dark deep blue, green, bottom part green, army green, olive green I should say. Little dots on the belt to help accent. Smoke bombs, I guess, smoke cylinders, plates on the back as well, front and the back. This is a very clean application with this dry brushing. What you didn't see in the video, I came in and accented some of these rivets on his knee pads. But outside of that, man, I just want to give you a real quick rundown of what it looks like after it was done. I did some cleanup on some of the green, not much, but that's about it, man. This is it. Very clean, very happy, really cool. This was a pain back here, like I said. I put some primer up here like halfway, like on an angle, a 45-degree angle, to make it look like it was like filled up. But I figured right before BANE turns into BANE and it gets big, I would think this tank would be full. Anyway, I don't know too much about BANE, to be completely honest with you. But I did, right here, I put some gloss. You can't tell, some gloss varnish on the buttons or lights here. That's about it. Did some weathering on the tank. Did some copper on the tank. Some red buttons and dots here. red light here. A lot of going around, make it look like it's worn, like here, like it's been, the condensation's building up. Outside of that, back here. But anyway, I just want to show you a clean version in the light, see what it looks like. I'm very happy how this turned out. This is fun. I'm going to do some more dry brushing stuff in the future. Maybe start getting into some minis, some of that Warhammer stuff. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for guys for watching. I know this isn't a long video. Thanks if you stick around. Thanks for the support. But there it is. Here's our end result. Bane. Well, before Bane. Human Bane. Thanks for watching.